education system is similar to like the African education system, but the difference is what I like theirs is they don't just put everybody to compete.
Yeah, they don't tell you.
They tell you, okay, if you know you are not good at reading, there's still another section for you.
There's craftsmanship, people that work like
use your hands.
They don't learn.
We just use your hands. While there are some, they'll tell you, okay, you can learn without supervision, even while it's like the masters. But out here in Africa, like the competition is too much, whereby they can put students in one class and tell them you must be good at everything, which is not possible. You can't be good at everything. We are not all the same when it comes to our intellect, and nobody's dull or nobody is stupid. It's just that sometimes I might not be good at assimilating when we are all different. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode with 444 Feels. We want to say thank you to all the old subscribers that have been glued to us while we're away. I want to say welcome to the new subscribers. We love you guys. And today we'll be reacting to explaining the Dutch education system. So this is actually like a new one. We know we've always reacted to movies and music, but today we'll be reacting to an educational content.
Educate you guys.
Yes.
Dutch
education system.
We want to educate ourselves.
You know the drill, right? You should like the channel. Don't forget to like.
I have some Dutch fans. So
yeah.
If you have any Dutch fans, please comment down right on the comment section.
Dutch is German.
Yeah,
that's the language you speak.
Yeah.
So guys, if you like the channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. And to support or request any video of your choice, there's a Buy Me Coffee link on the bio and on the comment section. Don't forget to click on the link. So guys, let's get into it. I didn't even see it.
Bro, are you sure that's screen recording? Yeah.
If you happen to have watched the college storytime video I made a couple months ago, you'll probably recall me briefly explaining the Dutch education system and how it differs from the American one. I got a couple comments saying people would be interested in seeing a video explaining this system more thoroughly, so without further ado, here's my take on explaining the Dutch education system. I'll go through the entire system step by step in chronological order, so from kindergarten to university. The very first or pre-phase of education over here is called peuterspeelzaal, which roughly translates to toddler playroom. I know, sounds a bit silly, and is pretty much the Dutch equivalent of nursery school. Children ages 0 to 3 can attend toddler playroom, however it isn't obligated to do so. And once a child turns 4, they'll have to enter the next stage of education. This being basisschool, roughly translated basic school, which I'd say is the Dutch equivalent of elementary school. Here children will learn basic skills such as calculating, writing, reading, grammar, crafts, along with a couple of other basic subjects. Basic school consists of a total of 8 grades. These grades over here are referred to as groups. For example, once you enter basic school, you'll be in group 1. The following year you'll enter group 2, and so on and so forth. One subject we're also taught, which I'm not sure Americans are, during group 6 and 7 is traffic, where you learn about the basic traffic rules. In the Netherlands, it's pretty common for kids to travel to school by bicycle, seeing how school buses aren't really a thing over here. That plus the villages often are only 15 to 30 minutes of cycling away due to the Netherlands' small size. So you can imagine what would happen if children were to just cycle along the road, oblivious to all traffic.
3 reasons why your iPhone is always running out of storage.
Stop doing this. You don't need to delete spam.
Near the end of group 7, everyone is obligated to take a cycling exam, where you have to cycle a certain route through town while paying attention to all kinds of traffic boards. Once you pass the exam, you receive your long-awaited cycling diploma and immediately shrug off all rules you ever learned. High school students. Besides that, you're also obligated to take the CITO test near the end of group 8. The result of this particular test, along with your overall performance during basic school, will determine what level of secondary education you'll be following. By this point, you'll be 12 years old. So this is where things might get a bit complicated. At age 12, you'll enter voortgezet onderwijs, roughly translated continued education, which is the Dutch equivalent to American middle and high school. The thing about continued education is that there's different difficulties of high school to choose from after leaving basic school. This is where the CITO test comes into play. Depending on the advice you were given in Group 8, you have several options. VWO, which is a rough acronym for Preparing Scientific Education. This is the highest possible difficulty of continued education you can possibly follow and will take a total of 6 years to complete. VWO prepares its students for WO, which is similar to American University and thus contains the largest amount of theory matter in terms of subjects. HAVO, a rough acronym for Higher General Continued Education. This is the second to highest possible difficulty you can follow and will take 5 years to complete. Whereas VWO often deeply delves into particular subject matter, HAVO tends to cover the more general side of things, plus VWO also tends to have stricter grading methods compared to HAVO. When attending this difficulty, you'll be prepared for something called HBO, the Dutch equivalent of American college. MAVO, roughly translated Secondary General Continued Education. MAVO will take you 4 years to complete and prepares you for MBO. In terms of difficulty, there's quite a gap between MAVO and HAVO, or at least that's what I've heard. VMBO, which is a rough acronym for Preparing Secondary Job Education, which comes in 4 different routes. Each of these routes takes 4 years to complete. These include VMBO-TL, the TL standing for Theoretic Education, which actually is just a different name for MAVO. However, due to the negative connotation VMBO tends to have over here, due to it being the lowest level of secondary education, they decided to change its name to MAVO. VMBO-GL, the GL standing for Mixed Education, which is pretty much equal to MAVO, except GL adds a job-specific subject, making GL a mix between practical and theoretic subjects. VMBO-KB, KB standing for Job Framework, which mainly focuses on practical subjects rather than theory-based ones. Students here learn skills by doing rather than studying. VMBO-BB, BB standing for Job Basics, which is pretty similar to KB, except the amount of study load is a lot less. Both KB and BB are there to prepare students for handicraft and other sorts of craftsmanship. Practical education, students who are unable to obtain a VMBO diploma but still wish to enter the job market can be enrolled in practical education. Last but not least, there's also a route called LWOO, which acronym roughly translates to Assisted Learning Education. This route is meant for VMBO students who either struggle a lot with basic subjects like calculation, grammar, reading comprehension, etc., or have severe social emotional problems. Alright, so that's all of them, I think. There probably are some more exceptions that I glanced over, but these ones mentioned are the major ones. I could go into detail how each route works, but I'd rather keep this video under 2 hours, so... Anyway, once you've completed any of the previously mentioned routes, you most likely will enter a certain difficulty of college. This difficulty will of course be dependent on what difficulty you completed high school at. We'll start with MBO. As I mentioned earlier, MBO is a type of college you can attend after you've completed MAVO. MBO is categorized in 4 levels: MBO Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, and Level 4, and takes a total of 3 or 4 years to complete. With each level, the amount of independent work activity increases, meaning at Level 1 you're an assistant, while at Level 4 you're capable of performing specialized tasks. The minimum requirement to enter Levels 2 to 4 is that you either have a VMBO or MAVO diploma. You're only capable of progressing to the next tier of college-like education if you complete MBO Level 4. From here you have the option to progress to HBO or enter the job market with an MBO Level 4 diploma, which is somewhat equivalent to an American associate's degree. HBO can roughly be translated to Higher Job Education, which is the follow-up to HAVO and takes 4 years to complete. Though of course, graduated HAVO students also have the option to choose MBO if they wish so for. HBO together with WO form the university section of education in the Netherlands. The main difference between the two though is that HBO focuses more on understanding how things happen and applying acquired knowledge with more supervision, while WO is more focused on why things happen and is more research orientated with less supervision. Though in reality, the amount of supervision within HBO is also pretty much non-existent. Watch my college video. Once students complete an HBO course, they'll earn an HBO bachelor degree. Afterwards, they can choose to enter the work field or continue studying for an HBO master degree. As I mentioned, WO in contrast to HBO is more focused on the research aspect of subjects. WO can be roughly translated to scientific education and is the follow-up to VWO. Though of course, VWO students can also enter HBO or MBO courses. After approximately 4 years, students will be rewarded with a WO bachelor degree. Afterwards, they have the option to enter the job field or continue studying for a master's degree, which the majority, as far to my knowledge, tends to do. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the Dutch education system. There's quite a lot of details regarding grading and law-related stuff I left out, but these are pretty much the basic explanations of each department. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye!
Bye. Some sort of educative touch.
I feel
That was
the
insane.
education system
Similar.
is similar to like the African education system, but the difference is what I like theirs is they don't just put everybody to compete.
Yeah, they don't tell you.
They tell you,
just go
okay,
and
if you
read,
know
go
if
and
you
read.
know you are not good at reading, there's still
section
another
for you.
section for you.
There's craftsmanship, people that work like
Use your
make things with their
hands,
hand,
you
they
know.
don't learn.
We just use your hands. While there are some, they'll tell you, okay, you can learn without supervision, even while it's like the masters. But out here in Africa, like the competition is too much, whereby they can put students in one class and tell them you must be good at everything, which is not possible. You can't be good at everything. We are not all the same when it comes to our intellect, and nobody's dull or nobody is stupid. It's just that sometimes I might not be good at assimilating when we are all different.
Yeah, that's
And you
true.
said there's a section that studies why things happen, and there's a section that studies how did she put it? How things happen.
Yes, why and how. Yeah, true.
They are different.
Very cool.
Also, I like how the younger sections, they would have to let you go through proper section of
Traffic
Yeah,
signs
yeah,
while they are 7-year-olds.
certificate.
Yes.
Not
You know
up
how
to,
to.
is it up to 7?
It seems they start to write backs when they are like 7 years. When they are in
They
basic
start
school.
by
Yeah.
4. They start the basic school by 4, and they have 8
8 years.
years.
From age 4,
so
you have
should
like
be
8 years
12 by
course.
then. That's
Yes.
what they say.
That's like actual.
That's like our primary school here.
Yeah.
That's like our primary school here. Not even then. After that,
There's junior
yes,
secondary school.
there's junior secondary
That's
school.
actually smart. That's a smart method.
Yes,
They
it's
make
smart
it
method.
easy for them.
They
Like,
make everything easy. They teach you not just how to read, write, solve maths and all. They teach
How
you
to
real
solve
life.
problems.
Yeah, real life. How to avoid crashes in the community.
And even in high school, there are some courses that they say that you take, and when you are going to the uni, it will give you more leverage than others.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even in high school, that means in their high school they are not graded the same. They are not graded together. They are never graded together. Yes,
And I love how their system is actually fair.
it's actually
fair.
fair.
So guys, thank you for this video.
Hope this was educating to you
Yeah.
guys too, because it was
It
to
was
us.
to us a lot. It was very educative.
I'm even happy watching this video because like we have like a couple of nephews and nieces in Germany.
Yeah,
So
true.
now I understand their own education system. It's actually good.
Well,
Thumbs up.
guys, thanks for this one. To meet